Hey french fries, what is up? Or if you're returning to my channel, hey. And if you're new, what's poppin'? In today's video, I'll be giving my opinion on the James Charles situation. And if you don't know, you might want to go watch some videos because, girl, I'll be explaining the situation from an outsider perspective, from a fan of everybody involved, and I'll also be giving my opinion from a fan. So let's get into it. So basically, let's get into it. If you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard about this situation, girl, first of all, can we get your life together? Can your life get together though? But basically, James Charles is, at the time of this controversy starting, James Charles was an influencer who had over 16 million subscribers, and he was friends with two influencers who go by the names of Tati Westbrook and Jeffree Star. Now, I'm pretty sure that we all know these influencers, and from an outside perspective looking in, James Charles and Tati Westbrook seem to be very, very close friends. He did her wedding for her makeup, and he was always Tati was always an avid supporter of James Charles, his products, and basically his whole brand. When James Charles first moved to LA, he did have a lot of scandals coming out the gate, but Tati was one of the very few influencers who helped him and stood by him through those scandals, through thick and thin. So Tati Westbrook and James Charles will be the last two people I was expecting to have, beef in this community with. But Coachella Weekend 2 came. I don't remember the dates. I'll probably insert them right here. And James Charles had attended, as he always does, because I believe he's attended Coachella for the past 2 years now. And when he went to this Coachella week 2, he claims that he had VIP passes, which is not the same as artist passes. Artist passes are a higher level pass that are not open to the public. You have to get them from a brand, or you have to be sponsored to get a artist pass. And James Charles claims that because him and his friends decided to go to Weekend 2 Coachella so last minute, that they did not have any artist pass. And when they got into the VIP section, James Charles claimed that he was getting mobbed and it became a very unsafe situation. Other sources, I'm not going to say who, say that this was not the case. James Charles was not getting mobbed, but he did not look comfortable in the VIP section, almost having like some kind of entitled, cocky attitude about it. I'm not saying this is true, nor am I saying this is false. I'm saying this is the pretext I've heard from people who were there and videos I've seen about people. I cannot confirm the legitimacy of these claims, but what I can confirm is that the people who I watch, in my opinion, seem to come off as very genuine and honest people. So that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, he got to Coachella Weekend 2, didn't have any artistry passes, and said it became a very unsafe situation. So he hit up fellow influencer friend Nikita Dragon. Nikita Dragon was sponsored by Sugar Bear Hair Weekend 1 and Weekend 2 at Coachella, so he asked her if they had any extra artist passes, and she said, can I give you the number? He ended up contacting them, and for the artistry passes, Sugar Bear Hair asked James Charles to do a little Instagram ad on his story, and without thinking, he signed the contract. Now see, the problem with this was his best friend Tati Westbrook, yes, Miss Tati Westbrook, has a rival brand known as Halo Beauty. And by James Charles promoting this Sugar Bear Hair company, it was like a stab in the back to her. And the same night that James Charles had posted that video, that Instagram ad, Tati Westbrook had posted about how she felt so betrayed and so used, and I'll insert the clip right here.
YouTube, I feel like I have been someone who's been super supportive to my friends, and it's been really crap to feel like, not that you should do things to get support, but friends should support one another. That's how it should be. And I just am having one of those days where it's like smacked in my face of what's what, and having to take a look at things and realize what they are, and not wanting to realize what they are.
Right. So after that whole spiel of things, James Charles claims that he tried reaching out to Tati, but he did not get in response. So as a last resort, he made a public apology and a public statement apologizing to Tati Westbrook. But see, Miss Tati, this is where Miss Tati, this is where it got real for everybody involved. Miss Tati Westbrook made the conscious decision to go on her YouTube channel at the time of controversy that had 6 million subscribers and talk about James Charles, and basically she tried to expose James Charles for being a pedophile. Not a pedophile, a predator, excuse me, that is not the right term. She tried to expose James Charles for being a predator, a manipulator, a backstabber, and all in all, a disgusting human being. And I ain't even gonna lie, after I watched that video, girl, I was like, ooh. I called up my makeup friend. I was like, I have a makeup friend. Her name is Tatiana. I'm gonna call her right now just to let her know what happened. No, I'm not gonna call her shit like this. But anyways, I ended up calling Tati. I was like, Miss Tatiana, my friend Tatiana. I was like, what we gonna do about James Charles? She was like, we gonna stand him, but we ain't gonna stand him, but we gonna stand these products. And I was like, all right, that's it. So that whole situation happened. And y'all remember Mr. Jeffree Star I told y'all about in the beginning? Well, Jeffree Star just don't know when to shut up. Because Jeffree Star made Ian Jeffrey, James Charles' 16-year-old brother, 16-year-old, who has nothing to do with the situation, and what James Charles does is not a representation of his brother. Yes, I only have one earring on. Get off my dick. What James Charles does is not a representation of his brother. So I really don't understand what Jeffrey's purpose was in this. But Ian Jeffrey had posted a tweet where he asks, why are people so tough online? Screenshots will be inserted. To which Jeffree Star responded something along the lines of, why is your brother a pedophile? Why did you really move back to New York? Exactly, shut the F up. Okay? Ian is 16. And I do not agree with this at all. I feel like Jeffree was definitely in the wrong for this situation, for going after somebody so young who has absolutely nothing to do with the situation in the first place. But like I said, the media took it and blew it up out of proportion. So basically, after that video, James Charles started out with 10 million subscribers at a time of controversy. I mean 16 million, not 10. Tati started out with 6, and Jeffree started out with, I believe, 14. And James' social blade quickly dropped, and a lot of allegations were starting to come out about him and him being a pedophile and this, that, and the third. But Mr. James Charles said, I don't know who y'all think I am, but I'm not the one. So as I was getting ready to film this video today, I was sitting down, I had my whole script prepared. I knew what I was gonna say, because I like to write down my video topics and get my words together. That way I don't mess up or stutter on anything when I'm filming. But when James Charles posted this video today, I was like, he basically, in a nutshell, exposed Tati for lying on his name. In that 40-minute video she posted, she basically exposed James Charles for lying. He exposed Tati Westbrook for lying, and exposed Jeffree Star for being a clout chaser and a liar, which was not surprising, to be honest. But let's get into my opinions on this whole situation. So once that happened, as of right now, I should probably do some research. As of May, what is it, the 18th? May 18th, I'm going to go to youtube.com right now, because I do not want to give any miscorrect information. I want to get the correct social blades from everybody. So give me one freaking second. Subscribers. And as I'm loading this page, she is constantly losing. Jeffree Star is at, I would love to see what he's at. Jeffree Star is at 14 million and losing subscribers. And James Charles is at, where is this thing? Is at 13 million and currently gaining. So, personally, I feel like by the end of the week, James Charles will have his subscriber count back and his audience back. But enough of that being said, I would like to get into some of my opinions as far as the situation goes. I feel like Jeffree Star is a clout chaser. I'm sorry, I feel like he is a bandwagoner, and I feel like he only benefits, and I'm not saying this because I really hope Jeffree changes in the future. But I feel like you can buy Jeffree. And for me personally, I just cannot think of being friends of somebody who has a price tag. Because that means that regardless of how close you guys are, how close you guys will become. Case in point, James Charles. I don't care what nobody says. James Charles, in my opinion, him and Jeffree were very close friends. In my opinion, and from an outsider looking in, for me at least, it looked like James Charles trusted Jeffree. And I'm not clocking James for that because there's no way of knowing if somebody is a manipulator. Well, it is if you look at people's track records. But I feel like James was trying to do the right thing and give Jeffree the benefit of the doubt. And I can say I am guilty of that. And I've gotten my heart broken a couple of times because I gave people the benefit of the doubt when they did not deserve it. So I'm not going to even blame James Charles for having an open heart because that would be very hypocritical of me. But what I will say is you teach people how to treat you. So if you see that somebody has manipulative behaviors, you should at least proceed with caution as far as friendship's concerned with him. Because if we do notice, Jeffree is only friends when it benefits him, and he only speaks out when it benefits him, and he does not know how to handle when the GP is against him. So for that, I feel as though that his friendship has price tags, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you see. If he can use you, or if he feels as though you're getting in the way, or if he feels as though you're becoming bigger than him, that would be the end of y'all friendship. But how the clown comes back to bite, because yes, Jeffree Star posted all of these things saying that James Charles was this, that, and the third, how he did this, that, and the third, how he feels that he is a sick predator. When whole time, James Charles, Mr. James Charles, see, this is why I do love James Charles, because he forever comes with the receipts. Mr. James Charles was like, this is inaccurate because we met up on this day. Jeffree Star was saying that the camera didn't just stop recording, don't know why. But like I was saying, Mr. James Charles was like, this is inaccurate because we definitely met up on this receipt. And James Charles ended up coming with the receipts and shutting all of Jeffree's lies. And shutting all of Jeffree's lies down in today's video. So that brings me to my next point, which is about Tati Westbrook and how I feel and what I think her intentions was in making that video. I, in my heart, don't think that Tati Westbrook is a clout chaser, nor do I think she's a malicious or bad person. I think she's human and she has emotions like all of us. And I feel like her emotions got the best of her. And she made a decision off of impulse instead of judgment. And I feel like, yes, she did leave very important details out. And yes, what she did was wrong on so many levels. So many levels. Because everybody, she had the whole internet. And I know she didn't mean to do it. But she knew. She's not dumb. Tati Westbrook. I'm about to Google it. How old is Tati Westbrook? Tati Westbrook is 37 years old. James Charles is 19. I just want to let that sink in for a moment. Tati Westbrook. Miss Tati Westbrook is 37. James Charles is 19. So no, I don't feel like she had malicious intent. But she's not stupid. She's not stupid. If she's been in this game long enough to know how hate trains and bandwagons work, and I need the last clip. Here it is. I feel like she has been in this game long enough to know how bandwagons and hate trains work, how they come to be, how they can play out, and how they can destroy people's careers. I do feel in my heart that she knew that. And I don't, like I said, I'm not putting words, don't put words in my mouth, because I'm not saying I feel as though she did this on purpose. But what I am saying is that she wanted the pretext that James Charles was a negative person out there for the world to see. And what the world chose to do with their information was up to them. I personally don't feel like she thought she knew, because she just doesn't strike me as that kind of person. I don't feel like she knew the impact that video would have on James Charles and his career and his social blade and the amount of hate that he was getting. I don't think she was prepared for, personally. What I do think is Mr. Jeffree Star had no business being in it, and that he only cut off ties with James Charles because he felt as though that him still being friends with James Charles would look bad for his social blade, which is so fucked up on so many levels. But then that brings me to my opinion on Mr. James Charles. I'm about to get really heated. Because yes, James Charles might have messed up. Yes, what he did was, as a bad friend, he did not use good judgment. And in the moment, he did not use his critical thinking skills, and he did hurt his friend, and that is wrong. That is wrong, and that is unacceptable. But how would you feel as a 19-year-old? Because you're not a grown-up at 19, and my mother has instilled that in my head, that you're not grown at 19. You're an adolescent. That's why they call it adolescence. You're not grown. How would you feel? And Tati knows you're not grown at 19. Miss Tati Westbrook and Mr. Jeffree Star. Because how old is Jeffree Star? Is 33 years old. So I feel as though both Jeffree Star and Tati Westbrook understand that you're not grown at 19. I need the lash glue again. Like, what? I need the lash glue picker. Here it is. I feel like they both understand that at 19, you're not grown. You're not an adult. As much as you think you are, you're not. And I feel like they know this. So, with that being said, yes, James messed up, but he is still in adolescence, and he's still gonna mess up. He's gonna mess up more. This isn't gonna be his only mess up. What I don't agree with is 16 million people attacking somebody is unacceptable, and it's disgusting, and it's vile, and as a whole. Because I am responsible as well, because I went with the prefix. I believe somebody without context, without the full story, and that is my fault as well. And I personally feel like as a culture and as a society and as a group and as a young audience, we are putting this cancel culture, and I already said in my unpopular opinions, I do not like cancel culture, and I feel like it does not work. And I feel like this was a perfect example. And honestly, I just feel like as human beings, we are disgusting. The fact that we all bullied and targeted and made fun of and laughed and degraded a 19-year-old boy, gay boy, who is still discovering himself at 19 years old, based off the prefixes of a 32-year-old woman, a 37-year-old woman, excuse me, without any receipts from James Charles, without even letting him speak, is a problem. And the fact that drama channels, and me included, I'm including myself in this, I'm not saying I'm holier than thou, me included, that we all just jump to this negative conclusion is a problem. And it just goes to show, as a community, we need to stop being so judgmental and so straightforward thinking, and start to open up more and be more accepting and understanding and search for the truth, and just stop going off of what everybody tells you. Like, just because somebody tells you that is what happened does not mean that is exactly what happened. I've noticed that in this beauty community, people have a tendency to leave out the truth. And another thing that really made me sad for James Charles, and that really opened my eyes to some things, were the amount of friends that he supposedly had that unfollowed him or that disassociated with him was ridiculous and wrong on so many levels. Like the Dolan twins, Emma Chamberlain, let me think of some other close people that I saw him hanging out with. Those are the only 4 people that I can think of off the top of my head, but I know for a fact some celebrities like Kylie Jenner, Katy Perry, Iggy Azalea, all of these people that James Charles has worked with, his whole career was diminished and tarnished, and his reputation will never be the same. It doesn't matter how many receipts he comes with. At this point, the damage has been done. The damage has been done. All he can do is pick up the pieces and try to regain his following back, which I do feel like he will do. Because let's be real, his brand is low-key, high-key, indestructible. His brand is like Cardi B's brand. Like, as much as you knock him and call him out, somehow he finds a way to come back every single time. Every single time. And it's honestly so crazy to me. I feel like it should be like a show, like how to come back from an exposed video every time, like guarantee. And anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. His brand is indestructible, so the damage has already been done. I feel like Tati Westbrook needs to do some soul searching in this time period that she's taken off of YouTube. She needs to really prioritize the important things in her life, the important people. I feel like she needs to cut out Jeffree completely, because I am not the only person who says this and believes this. Jeffree Star will use you when it is beneficial to him. If you do not benefit him, he will not use you. And just a quick promo. Oh, did y'all see this glow blonde to me from all of the shade, the tea that was spilled? Look at this glow. Benny was like I was saying. Yeah, Jeffree Star for me is just a very clout chasing person. It's not somebody I would want to have on my team in the long term. I feel like Tati needs to go ahead and cut him off. Because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Jeffree Star told her to make that video. I feel like Jeffree Star wanted to see James Charles fall because James Charles was getting too up there with him, and that was making him mad. So I do feel like Jeffree not planned this, but was not mad at the situation. The end of my basically video about my opinions on the situation. As a community, we just need to do better. Y'all need to stop assuming. Y'all need to stop judging people without the proper context. And y'all just need help. Like, the whole beauty community just needs help. This is why I only stand the unproblematic people. And if y'all want to watch some unproblematic people, check out Jackie Aina, Alyssa Ashley. Who else is really unproblematic? Sylvia Ganny. If y'all really want to see some unproblematic good makeup, Nikki Tutorials, because it is so many talented Bretman Rock, like it is so many talented unproblematic beauty gurus that we can go check out. But instead y'all want to keep watching these problematic YouTubers, then be mad when they in problematic situations. Like, I don't even know how that works, how you mad at some. I don't know why my camera just decides to keep cutting off in mid-video, but anyways, like I was saying, please take a moment to just look and stop judging, or before you judge, just make sure you have the full story. And with that being said, I love you guys to the most. I'll see you on the next video, and bye guys. Oh wait a minute, all my socials are natural coming up next, and I post a video every Friday and Sunday. Bye bye.